Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games and Webb Gaming, and welcome to the final episode of Avery Forest. I am joined by Corey from Webb Gaming. How are you doing, Corey?
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Doing good. And Jasmine will be along with us in just a second after we do this intro. But as you can see, we are now ready for the final tour of Avery Forest. Are you excited?
I am very excited. I can't believe that this park is completed. It's very sad, but it's very exciting. As you can see, it is a fully mega park. It was a full mega park, and I can't wait to get into it.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's about as mega of a park you can get on console. Um, and, it's even one of those parks that if this was on a PC, it might not run on a lot of PCs. But we were able to, we used the Oswald cheat to get about an extra 26% in the park. So this is, it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun, but we're really excited to show you guys what the park looks like. So you ready to take the tour?
Let's go.
All right, so we'll try to do a lot of it in flip cam mode. So let's hop into flip cam mode. All right, everybody. So as you can now see, we are in flip cam mode, and gotta get the HUD back off the screen there. There we go. And so we were talking, and we decided we wanted to kind of walk around the park and get the first kind of view, just kind of visiting or viewing it how the guests would view it. And so we're walking up to the entrance right now. And what are your thoughts here, Corey, with the little
Well,
minor changes that were made?
so just walking out of this sort of gondola entrance at the beginning, just looking around left and right, it's just spectacular. It's
Yeah,
I almost, if I didn't know I was in a theme park, I wouldn't know where I was, but I'd be excited to find out because all you can see here is trees, buildings, and a bridge in the background, and it's just like wow.
for sure.
Um, and it is just a spectacular view, and I like what you've done, adding the sign on there. Welcome to Avery Forest. It looks fantastic, and yeah, it really feels. I really honestly feel like I'm in a sort of real theme park.
Right, so I appreciate it. And what are your thoughts, Jasmine?
Yeah, it looks really good. Definitely has a mountaineer type vibe. And I really like what you did with the sidewalks. You kind of made sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks really cool.
Yeah, and we'll when we do an overview, I'll make sure to kind of show what that area down there looks like. But I also, and we'll see from an elevated view in a little bit, but I wanted to pay respect to everybody who has commented on our channels throughout this series, and so I think I got everybody's name, and a couple of them I had to. I don't know why it says rain. I need to change that to say single rail. That's really weird because I swear I typed in rail twice and it turned to rain. All right. But yeah, so sorry about that. I'll change that on there to single rail. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to, everybody who's kind of had an input and um, just been a part of this. I wanted them to feel like they're part of it. And then I also added these little signs. If you look to the left, so we got to go get our tickets. So we got tickets and membership, and then we have just guest services. And then on the right side, we have a locker rental, which I didn't actually add anything, just kind of a door where you can go in there and rent a locker. And then I took these strollers, which I guess I should have said push chair, my bad. The push chairs. Um, from a previous park that I made because since we don't have a train in this park, which this is a large park, and we've got a kids area, they definitely need something to push kids around in.
Cute.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just getting over there now.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so we've got the membership, guest services. I love what you've done with this pathway, by the way. Adding these little tree planters in really adds to it. And
Yeah.
stroller rental. Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
I like these little strollers that you made.
I appreciate
They're
it.
really cool.
Yeah, and so I thought about kind of redoing some things over here, but I decided, we'll just keep it as is and just kind of add to it, right? Um, so are you ready to go through the turnstiles and enter the park?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. And so let me go ahead and say too that we did use the Oswald exploit on this. So we have like exactly 126% in this park on a PS5. So it's, if you equate that to a PS4, that's almost twice as, that's almost 200% on a PS4. It's like 170 something. But yeah, and so this bridge, it's my first time ever attempting to make a bridge, and it's almost kind of like industrial looking a little bit, but I do think it kind of fits the vibe that we ultimately created. And then Corey kind of added in all the lights and stuff, and looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I just walked over it now, and just looking around as I walked over, and it feels so immersive. It's just brilliant. And you did a great job on this bridge.
I appreciate it. And you did a good job too, adding your stamps to it and stuff like that. And what's amazing about it too is like you can't see any rides from it. Like we have successfully hidden the rides in the park. Like this really is amazing.
So for anyone who hasn't been watching or didn't realise, just to let you know that we had we set ourselves a goal not to build over the tree line. So we had to build all our rides and buildings and everything below the tree line. And that is the main reason why you can't see any rides or anything from that bridge. Because it is obviously one of the highest points in the park.
Yeah, for sure. And so when you come through, which way do you want to go first? Do you want to go the way the guests go to the right, or do we want to go straight?
Should we go straight down first?
Yeah, let's do that. But before, if you go out to this ledge that Corey made, you can kind of see we've got a really big food court area down here.
Broken benches.
Yeah, golly, I hired some more security guards, but yeah, it's just funny too how the look that these people get on their face before they smash on the benches. Really quite funny.
And I love the sign that Corey made.
Oh yeah,
Avery Forest and.
Yeah, it's spectacular. Yeah, it looks great. But I will say, whenever we do go to the single rail coaster, because we had one of our viewers made a sign for it, and so we'll need to come back up this way to kind of see the sign, because I think that's the best way to view it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and I love that little waterfall you created back there, so you can just kind of see in the distance a little bit to the left. You've got the little ridges, I guess you could say, and then you got some water going behind it. So we got this little restroom area. And honestly, this is one of the first times I'm walking around in Plipcam view, and it's like, it is super immersive.
It's sort of bringing it to life, isn't it? I'll be honest, this is the first time I've walked around in Plipcam as well, and seen it from a guest perspective, and it is really immersive, and it's sort of bringing it to life. Getting a bit emotional here.
Yeah, this has been a 2 months, almost 3 month ordeal. So we got the chair swing.
It's interesting nobody's on the chair swing.
Yeah, but those flat rides kind of go through phases. And then up here, which we'll see the ride to the right, that flat ride. We'll look at it when we come back around. But let's go to the left side of the park first. Actually, you know what? If you don't mind, Corey, let's reverse back to where we're at, because I was just trying to think about how the layout of the park is, and let's go back down the entrance the other way by your Avery Forest sign, so that we'll kind of go to the right first. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, to the right.
Yeah.
Towards the single rail coaster, yeah?
Yep. And it's funny because all these guests will walk up this way, but they don't walk down that way. Like, they enter the park and they all go to the right. So it's annoying how the PC doesn't ever do what you expect, like what you want the guests to do. I mean, that's just a beautiful sign you created. Too bad that the rocks really kind of start losing their texture when you get up to 100%. But
yeah.
I love this walkway with the trees overhead, and
yeah, it's just really nice. And then you got a little backstage area, which right up my alley. So good job on this one, Corey. It's a little backstage with some trash and stuff.
I forgot to show that. 1 second. Let me do staff only. Let's sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Alright, and so Iron Matty came up with the name for this coaster as Floodgate, and we asked him, like, right before we knew that he was having that issue and was in the hospital. So I was thinking, I don't know if I don't really want to ask him to make a sign now, just because I know he's going through some stuff. But in about 2 hours the other day, he threw together this ride entrance and sign, and it looks amazing.
Holy moly! I had to try very hard not to swear then, because this is amazing. Wow. I
Yeah,
am
this
very
is
impressed. Well done, Matty.
fantastic. So it's called Floodgates, and it's a single rail coaster, as you can see. So you can see it going up the chain. And I really wanted to this is a coaster I made. I wanted to kind of be interactive with the path a little bit, so we'll kind of see more as we go. But yeah, let's go ahead and walk through the queue. And I mean, this is just so, like, he put this
Even the
together in
inside.
2 hours.
I know, even the inside looks quality. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because in the WhatsApp chat that we're on, where he was letting us know his progress, he was like, I went OTT on this, like over the top. And I was like, as long as you're under the percentage, then you're good. And so he was like, it was like literally the perfect amount of pieces for me to put off some finishing touches in the park and not hit the 100% limit to where I couldn't place down the Oswald or the blueprint that I had saved. But as you can see, this is kind of a longer, windy queue.
Well, it's really interesting how he created that, because it's just like the entrance. It doesn't cover the entire queue, which I like. It's just kind of I don't know, like a gate, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, like floodgate, but but really interesting how he did that. I would never think to do something like that for a sign, which it's a little more than a sign, but
Yeah.
really good job, Iron Matty.
For sure. All right, so, oh gosh.
Oh, no.
That's the issue with flipcam mode, is it took me out of...
Back to the entrance.
Yeah, it's the only issue with
It's done the
flipcam
same
mode.
to me.
Yep, so, let's look at the stats with the coaster. And I did have to change the friction on this because you'll see why, for those of you who haven't seen it already. And I remember these stats change so quickly, because if the coaster sits there and waits at the end for a while, the stats change. Normally they're in all green. It's not a large coaster. Vertical G's, lateral G's maybe a little bit higher, but biggest drop is only 32 meters, so right around 100 feet. And, you know, this is the first coaster that we had made as, this is the first coaster that we had made, and so it was kind of different to try to be like, okay, we're not building above the tree line and so forth. So I'm riding the coaster right now. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Just left the station.
Alright, so we just arrived. Jasmine, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is definitely a different than some of the other coasters you've made before, obviously, because of the height restriction. But I think this might be one of my favorites that you built.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was tough because for those of you that have watched from the beginning, you saw what this area looked like before the coaster, what it looked like after the coaster was put in, and then what it looks like now, because it was just kind of a pit of nothing. And so I had to kind of figure out, okay, what do I want to do with this? And I decided to kind of create this kind of cement boundary with, you know, with fencing and stuff, and tried to have some like access doors that in theory could access some mechanical rooms or different things needed. You do have a door down here in case the coaster were to, in theory, stall. There's a way for you to get the guest off the ride and back up the platform. And then honestly, like, I think this is one of my favorite backstage transfer track areas that I've done. And so Corey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I love this area, this whole backstage area. I made it that very clear um, on that particular episode where we was reviewing it. I think you've done an absolutely excellent job with this, especially the transfer track area and this whole coaster in general. But I just wanted to add, like, from Plipcam mode, if you're still in that, leaving the station, so leaving the exit, the view of the coaster itself from there is spectacular. If you just have a look, the view from there is absolutely spectacular. But yeah, no, you've done an absolutely amazing job with this station, this whole coaster in general, and Matty's sign on there just helps add even more excellence to it. And yeah, really happy with this area.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to keep close to the ground, but I don't want to keep getting kicked out of Plipcam mode. So it's the one negative about it, right? But one thing I did change since last episode was I changed this fencing around it to the wooden fence, just because it wasn't really realistic that you'd have your backstage area only have chain link fence to where all the guests could kind of look in and see what's going on. So I changed that, and then I do really like how, which you'll see on another ride that was made, I found a different way to try to do this, but trying to add, like security on the lift hill, like a camera along with a cable box and stuff. And so, if we go back here, you can kind of see this great food building that Jasmine built. And it took us a while to try to figure out how best the pathing could work to where they don't just get so clumped up and grouped up. And
it was an ordeal, and so I started it and made the building, but I couldn't quite get the pathing correctly. And then we were having some issues with the the main drag, the black whatever that is, asphalt or whatever pathing. Yeah. And so the guests were getting stuck, and then we had to move the building back a little bit, and they're still really crowded, really crowded. But I think Michael, did you do that or did Corey do it? Fixing the pathing on this?
Yeah, I fixed it a little bit. We shifted it back, and so what I ended up having to do.
The terrain also was uneven, so it was hard to work with.
So basically what I did was I shifted it back, and then I tried to have these larger paths kind of meeting up with, let's see if it'll actually let me click on there. Yeah. So as you can see, we've got these smaller paths here, but I tried to have larger paths leading up to it, and then I created this second walkway to kind of get up there, because originally we just had this main entrance going horizontally with the path. And so, and I then added this week these benches, and Jasmine helped me with the color. Oh my gosh, somebody just destroyed a bench.
We need to turn those settings off.
You can't turn those settings off. I've tried.
Really?
You can't turn vandalism
off.
Oh, you have? Well, then maybe I just don't know where I'm looking at. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then one thing too, so Insomniac, which I'm annoyed nobody's sitting on this, but there we go. Yeah, so Insomniac, right as I said that, he mentioned that on the edges here, we could kind of put a bench in the railings, and so on the left and right side, Corey, instead of there being the kind of railings that I had before, I just took the wall pieces that kind of matched the floor, and I placed benches inside of them. And I just doubled it up so that people can sit on that wall now, and it can kind of be like a ledge where guests sit on.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen a few people do that, and it's actually a really clever idea. So, thanks, Insomniac. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Insomniac. So, let's go to the right, and just so we can kind of see this area, and then I'll give kind of an overview of it. But yeah, I mean, I do think there are some really good sight lines on this coaster, kind of where you can stand, and that kind of, I don't know what the technical term for that would be, because it's not an actual, that's not a bat wing, but it looks almost kind of like that inversion is very unique, right? It's like a sidewinder, and then you've got your, it's not an Immelman, what is it called now? I forget the name of it.
I have no idea, but it looks great. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. So I'm walking around to the right, and since it is a forest, I just try to make sure we put lots of trees and rocks and stuff.
Definitely, and it looks great. I think I will just say, I'm not sure about you, Michael, but I think we're only going to be riding the main rides, so the roller coasters, and probably the rapids.
Yes.
Not the flat rides. We can walk down the queues. Well, I'll be walking down the queues, but I'm not going to be riding the flat rides because who likes to spin?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want you guys being sick watching my video.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jasmine has I've taken a cue from Jasmine's playbook with how to decorate flat rides. Still not as good as she does, but
good job though.
so I tried to incorporate more flowers and having different designs and stuff. And so here's the Zozo, and I remember, Corey, when we were talking about this area, like what to do in this little spot, because it was basically nothing. And ultimately I decided let's just put down some cement color that kind of matches the coaster and kind of fill it up with flowers and stuff to make it look like it's an actual, like there's actually land there, which there's not. It's just a big hole underneath. But yeah, I think
that looks good though. Yeah, I like it.
And then Corey, I want to see your thoughts on this too. So if you go to basically where the coaster's at, where the brake run on the coaster is, or not the brake run, the block section, which I know that's not the most unique place or most realistic place to put a block section, but I kind of had to do it for the sake of trying to get 2 coasters on the track.
Yeah.
But I kind of created this walkway, which the guests can't actually walk out here, but it kind of takes you around the edge of the coaster. And so I think it gives some good views.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
It gives a great view. I'm just taking a walk down here now. Got a nice little shot of the boat ride.
Mm-hmm.
Nice shot across the river.
Yeah. Man, everybody loves that boat ride.
I told you.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? You think going really slow on the river would be quite boring, but nope. There's a lot to see in this park.
Yep, for sure. Definitely. So we ready to go to your area, Corey?
Yeah. So let's head back. Where should we go? Which way? Across Jasmine
the
Bridge?
Yeah, and this is a bridge that Jasmine made, which looks very nice. Definitely fits our style in terms of the park with the green and everything.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you just noticed, but I did just name this bridge Jasmine Bridge.
Oh, you did?
So we now have a name for the bridge.
Okay. Well,
I'm just walking across the bridge, and the views are great.
Yeah, for sure.
Both sides.
For sure. So this area to the right, tell us about that, Corey.
Yeah, so every family theme park needs a family area or a place for the kids to go wild. And that's where this area comes in. So I decided that I was going to put in a kids area, which, as you can see, I called Candyland, with a very nicely themed entrance, full of candy. Just a disclaimer, it's not edible, so please don't eat it. So if we walk into Candyland, for anyone who's watched the episode of Candyland, you'll notice one major change from the episode is that the pathing is not so brightly coloured anymore. I think there was a few people that suggested changing the path because it was a bit too bright, and obviously having the generic sort of pathway would sort of make it stand out a bit more, which I totally agree, and I think it was an absolutely fantastic suggestion. So thank you to everyone who suggested that. But as you can see, I did make that change. On our left at the beginning we have the splash zone. We have the bumper cars. On the right we have our candy coaster, which we will take a ride on in just a moment. we have Tommy CM's favourite ride.
Oh yeah,
Is it
hey,
Tommy
click on
CM
it.
or is it Tommy P?
Click on it and see what it's called.
It is called Tommy CM. There we go. I knew it was one of them. There's too many Tommies.
There are quite a few.
Yeah.
There are. So we've got Tommy CM's favourite ride. We've got a couple of little shops here, some loony balloons, and we got some ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream?
Right.
Yeah, and then just to the right-hand side of the ice cream shop, we do have a little seating area, which isn't actually usable by guests. It is just for show. But I thought it was a nice little place to put a little seating area.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, and on our left we have the teacups. And I think that's everything we put in here. But yeah, I think this area turned out really well. But what I want to know is your guys' thoughts. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it was great. Jasmine started to talk, so.
No, you can talk.
No, I think it's great. I love what you did here, and just you really made it feel like it's separate from the rest of the park, so it's almost like it's a kid's park within the park, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it looks fantastic, the area and everything like that. So it's great job.
I just wish there was like a cotton candy shop, because it would be perfect for this area.
Well, the Sugar Emporium.
Oh, it would indeed.
Do they sell cotton candy?
Yeah.
Maybe they do.
Well, it's called the Sugar Emporium, so I'm sure that everything in there would fit very well for the Candyland.
Yeah, just.
That
this
is
so
very
adorable.
true. I didn't even think of that. But actually, no, I did think ice cream's going to make the kids hyper enough.
Yeah,
Sugar
that's
Emporium's
true.
just going to send them over the top.
That's true. That's true. All right, so do we want to ride your coaster?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, let's take a ride on Candy Coaster. Okay, there we go. I've got to say, I really like the colours that I chose for this area. What do you think about the colours?
Yeah, I like them a lot. I think it definitely works. It does.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look like cotton candy, which is fantastic. Like, what kid doesn't like cotton candy?
I think, if I remember correctly, I feel like you did have a different pink, and then or it was like a darker pink, and then I said, well, maybe try like a baby pink, and then that really helped, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was. It was sort of like a hot pink. In fact, it was the pink. If you look at the splashes on the floor, it was the same pink as that.
Oh, that's
it
right.
was like a hot pink. But yeah, no, that was a great suggestion by you, Jasmine, to sort of lighten the pink a bit and make it sort of a baby pink. And I think it worked perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm completely happy with this area. Again, also, if you just step outside the park, or not the park, the candy area, Candyland, just opposite, we have a little, I think you guys, we call it a sort of play park, or
Playground.
we call it a park in the UK, but the playground, yeah. Yeah, and again, all of this was custom built. I thought it fit perfectly here because there was just an open space. But I thought it fit perfectly here, at being obviously outside the Candyland. Yeah, and I'm happy with how this turned out as well.
Yeah, I love it, and I love the little ropes, little ropes area that you have, and the swings. I just wish there was like some way that we could have like animatronics or something of the guests, so it seems like they're there and they're like playing in it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, if there is a Planet Coaster 2 to come out, they bring some of these things that we've all suggested in the
Yeah.
next one.
So what do you think of my small addition to your area?
The strollers. I just only noticed that as you said it. Oh, I like that. That's very good.
I felt like putting a couple in there. It's just like if your kids are gonna be playing here, most
Yeah.
likely you're gonna have strollers, right? So
That is true. That is true. I like that. It's very good. Very good touch. There's a couple of strollers outside the Candyland as well. Brilliant.
Yeah. So now
Right,
let's
so
go. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm just jumping back into Plipcan.
Okay. So now if we go to the right, this area right here, to me, is my favorite in the park. And I think it's like all three of us worked on it. And so, I mean, right away, what stands out is that ridge swing sign that you made. That just looks awesome on that sundial ride. And the coloring on it's really good too. So it really matches the forest style. And then to the left, we have this building, food building. And I just made a copy of the one that you had over here, Corey. And then I wanted to fence everything in as well. And then we got the, what's this called? The kickflip, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's really, that one kind of hides right there, right? Like you forget it's even there when you come down the stairs.
It's, you know what, it's that ride that you forget is there until you've been down this other end and you turn around and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was there.
Maybe that's why not many people are in the line for it.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody wants food instead of going on rides.
Yeah.
So, and then Jasmine, talk about this sign that you made.
Yeah. You know what? Looking at it, I don't think the letters are straight, but oh well.
I would not have noticed if you didn't point it out. It looks like the R maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I made it anyway. I don't want to. Whatever. It's not perfect, but yeah. So I really was copying what Corey did on his that River Rapids ride. To kind of, he used the same letter, so I just took his inspiration from that. And then I was trying to kind of block the building so you kind of couldn't see the station for the mountain climber coaster. So yeah, it turned out really well. And I remember when I got the park to make the coaster, I was really nervous because I didn't want to mess anything up that Corey and Michael had done. So I just was like, I'm just gonna build in this random area over here, and then it turned into what it is now. So it looks really good.
Yeah. Well, now what I love too is when you come to the right, like even when you see the station, like you have no idea what kind of coaster this is. Like you can't see a thing.
Yeah, it's true.
And you gotta come over to where your photo booth section is to even see the lift hill.
Well, and I have to tease Michael a little bit because the first thing I did was like make these like weird shaped mountains, and I think he was like, "What are you doing?" But I'm glad it turned out how it did because I was nervous to like work on anything in here. But this might be one of my favorite coasters that I built.
Yeah, I just noticed, sorry, I kept the camera at this one position for a little bit because when I was replacing stuff, I realized that this is not replaced in the proper area. So if anybody is ever doing the Oswald cheat, what you need to do is you can't move individual pieces, but you can move groups. So you need to split these two from the building, and then I can move that group. And so now I'm realizing that it was not back where it was supposed to be. So
nobody cares but you.
No, but it bugged me how it was just like sticking out. So I was like, I don't want to leave it like that. So it bugged me. There we go. Back to normal. And as you can see here too, Corey, I meant to put more stuff back here in the maintenance area, but we just ran out of percentage. And so
he put all this extra stuff on his coaster, but he just like left mine to look, boring.
Hey, boring. Look at this queue. This queue is awesome. It's very foresty.
Thank you.
No, it is. I'm just taking a walk through the queue, and it looks absolutely amazing. You've done a great job, but I think before we talk about it, should we take a ride?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a ride on the mountain climber.
Yeah, we're just taking a look at the results. There's the results if you want to have a look at them. And let's take... let's go seat view this time.
Alright guys, enjoy the coaster.
I think that was amazing.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
definitely
was.
amazing.
And I hope you smiled for the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know if the viewers managed to catch that, but I'm just having a little close up now of it. There's a nice little on-ride camera as you come around towards the end.
Yeah. I probably should have put some electrical stuff trying to make it look like, but I think that's great. Yeah, and as Jasmine was saying, when she was first making this, and I kind of saw the beginning look of it, there were some of those big hills, and I think my thought was like,
I think he didn't like it, to be honest.
yeah, I was just like, I didn't know what she was going to do with it. And so it wasn't like that I wasn't like approving of it. It was just like, it's one of those where I feel like with most coasters, when we actually make, when you just see the coaster in the area, sometimes you're like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. And then it works out great, right? Because you don't see the whole product.
Me.
No, I never doubted you. But what I do think amazing is doing a night ride. Since there are no lights on the coaster, it's just what I envision the Beast at Kings Island being like. That just goes out in the wilderness to nothing. And people who ride at night say that you literally can't even see the track in front of you. And so this is a ride that's a really cool night ride, not because of the lighting, but just because of like it truly feels like a wilderness ride.
Yeah. Well, I would have put lights on it had we not run out of percentage, but. Yeah. I think it is cool riding it at night without any lights on.
Yeah, and so I'm showing this area at night right now and how it's lit up, and so I think it looks good.
Indeed, definitely. I think I agree with what you said earlier. This is probably, although it's quite a small area, it is one of the best areas in the park. It's perfectly lit. The buildings, the theming, the rides, everything it fits perfectly in this area.
Yeah, probably should have lit up that first food or that second food court by the ridge swing a little bit more, but it is what it is.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
it looks good though. It does look good. So I'm just jumping back into clip cam mode. Where are we?
I might as well jump back.
You.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I've decided to not go back into flip cam mode because I just don't like how it kicks you back to where you're at. So I'm trying to keep low to the ground. But yeah, so now if we head to the right, we can head through these kind of woods, and there's not really much back here, but as you can see, are you at that point yet?
I'm just heading up the stairs now. Sorry, it just took me a minute to get into Plipcam.
I know you're good. I forgot about that. But yeah, I just added some fencing.
Yes, so I'll just go around to the right, and yeah, I like that fencing actually. Yeah, that actually really fits nicely.
Yeah, I was looking at what kind of fencing.
I like that bit. There's a little bit, just as you're walking along, there's a bit just to the right where you get a little glimpse of the wooden coaster.
Oh, yeah.
And just as it flies by, I like that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's cool. That was not actually intentional. I had to delete a tree because when I replaced the coaster, I guess I had accidentally added another tree there or something, but there's a tree that's actually going through the coaster, so it would have like smacked somebody in the face. So that was not intentional, but yeah, I think it also does look great. And then if you go down the path some more, we see this kind of haunted. I guess you should look at this at night. You made this little haunted house type area almost.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's just one of those.
Can't have a forest without a haunted area, can you? You just can't.
Yeah, I do feel like if we didn't have to worry about like a limit and a counter, we definitely would have done more with the haunted aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you never know. Halloween's coming up. The park may get a little what do they call them? Scare maze or something?
Yeah. All right, so. I just didn't have the build limit left to do anything with this bridge right here on the left. But once again, I did add fencing. I do like custom fencing compared to a lot of the fencing that the game gives, and I felt like this kind of style fit the area. And so, do you want to go around to the right, and then we'll work the way back to the area where your brother's coaster is?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm just at the toilets now, which I like these toilets. I think this is a copy of the toilets near the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, I just copied them over. So part of it was I like how it looked. The other part was I was just lazy.
No, but I like that building. I think I said that to you from the beginning. I like that shape of building and style, and it's really nice. So just walking around to the right, we've got all this lovely fencing.
Yeah.
Lots of trees. And what's that in the background?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, there's a little walkway to the right.
I was just gonna say, where's this walkway going to? Should we take a walk down there first?
Yeah, let's go down here. So this has been added in since I got the park back from Corey. So. It's
another ride back here.
We got a couple small rides. We got another little bathroom area. If you go to the right, there's a staff only. I've got this little walkway back here to make it look like there's staff. Like I've got doors back here, look like this staff entrance, and then we've got this this maintenance area, and this maintenance building that I showed you guys last time. And Corey, are you looking in? Well, I guess you're on Plipcam mode, so we'll have to look at that at the end. But we'll come back at the end and kind of look around stuff a little bit more, not in Plipcam mode.
Yeah, we did a sort of overview of the park at the end.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of add just a little bit more. So.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I like this. It's a great little area.
Yeah. So now, if we go up and go to the right, we see a sign in the background. Is that what you're originally talking about too?
That's what I was talking about, yeah. Now, this was obviously the latest episode, which was last week, which, if you saw it, thanks everyone for your comments. It was much appreciated. But this is Raging Racers. This is the area specifically for a dueling coaster. And as you walk out here, as we did last week, the views are just spectacular. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the views are amazing, and it just reminds me of like a drag race track or something. So yeah, it's looks amazing, man. So one thing real quick is if you would turn it to, well, I guess can you turn it to nighttime in Plipcam mode, or do you have to get out of Plipcam mode to do that?
No, I'm in nighttime.
Okay. Yeah, so I just added some lights and didn't try to do anything too crazy, but just enough to kind of add some lighting to the area. Now, Corey, I think I made a mistake with replacing your ride. When I say mistake, it's not a big deal. But you remember how you had those lights that would flash green and red?
Oh, yeah. It
I
took the
think when
triggers
I
off.
when I saved the blueprint, for some reason those didn't save, so that doesn't happen now because Corey had it before where when you were here waiting, there were red lights that were on and then green lights flashed when the car went, and so I really apologize.
That's right. No problem.
I did not realize
Not a
that
big deal.
until yeah. Um, so this is an amazing area. I know we talked about it last week some, but you just really have it kind of feeling like truly like you're racing, as obviously it's called Racers, and it's a very spaghetti bowl type layout, which you guys might be able to see something new in the background there. So let's try to hide some of that. But yeah, as you can see, this is just I love what you did here, Corey.
Thank you. Yeah, again, I'm really proud of this area. But again, we'll talk about it in just a moment. Let's jump on. Um, I'll tell you what, you go red and I'll go blue.
All right, sounds
How about
good.
that?
Is there
All
one
right,
that's
here's.
a little bit more
Sorry.
exciting than the other?
Um, I think. I'm not too sure. I think they're similar in stats. I think the blue one has a little bit higher vertical G-force, but it might be a little bit too high. But we never
Okay.
saw that.
All right. Well,
But yeah, there's the stats. Let's take a front bumper view, and off we go.
all right, guys, enjoy the coaster.
So that is Raging Races.
Yeah, I love the whole thing. Just everything about it. I love the area. I really like the last part towards the end where I don't know, is that an Immelman or is that a
Oh,
what
look at
kind of,
you.
and
That's an
then they kind
Immelman.
of, and so they kind of go through that together and then they kind of split up and then they come back around and they join
Mm-hmm.
together. I love that part.
Yeah, it's really cool. Um, and I think one thing too, just with this area, this whole park coming together, like I love the launch and being able to sit there and watch the coasters launch as on my screen they're going right now. But then Corey, look at the top of that hill too. How cool does that hammer swing look on the top of the hill?
Where are we looking from? Oh, that does look good.
I mean, that'd be
I can see
terrifying.
it. That would be absolutely terrifying. But it looks great.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and then I
Let me
love this
just.
little raceway area. So I think you did a great job with it, Corey.
Is that
Thank you. Appreciate
tire
that.
like one piece or is that something that you had to build?
Which one's that?
The tire behind the Avery Raceway sign. Is
Oh,
that
yeah,
like
it's
an
an archway.
archway? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's under the archways on the create menu.
I've never seen that before, but I don't. Obviously, I'm not familiar with the racing stuff.
Yeah.
That looks really good, though.
All right, so we're ready to move on.
Yeah, so just exiting the ride, just past the Raging Racers photo shop.
Yeah.
Which
let's
has
go
some
to the
pretty
left
photos.
because I think if we go back to the left by where you have your river rapids, because I think the area where your brother's coaster is, and then that final area up there is best view. Go in that direction.
Okay, so up the hill, yeah.
No, here. If you go to the left, like back towards where we
Back
came.
towards yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so we go over this new bridge, and then we're kind of facing your bridge that you made, kind of going back to the main island.
Okay, just going past the toilets.
Yeah.
And over the bridge. Okay, yeah. So I'm now looking at the bridge that I made.
Yeah, and so this is this is such a good river rapids that you made. It's just fantastic. And I don't know about you, but I recommend riding the river rapids at night, don't you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and if you do happen to download the park and take a walk around yourselves, then listen out for the music, because there's speakers dotted around this whole area with nice music to go with it.
Oh yeah.
So definitely check that out. But this is Rock River. River Rapids that I created in, I think it was, what was it, episode 5 maybe?
Yeah, episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah. Fully themed. It's probably one of my favourite creations in this park. I spent a lot of time on this. I think this is the week where I got, because I think you guys went away for the weekend, and so I think you gave the park back to me a couple of days early, and it gave me that extra couple of days to get this finished. This literally took me a week and a couple of days to do. There's a lot of detail in it, and to be honest, if I hadn't had the park for that long, I don't think I would have got it finished. So thank you guys. But I'm just taking a walk around the queue towards the entrance. This is quite a long queue path. I think in this game in general, River Rapids, especially when they're fully themed, they tend to get a lot of guests, and so I had that in mind when making this ride, because I knew that obviously the queue's bound to get full up at some point. So I made a very long queue to the entrance with this custom fencing. As I say, lots of speakers, lots of lighting. Got a little splash zone here, so if you are standing here when the river rapid comes down the hill, you are going to get wet. And then as we walk round underneath the hill, or the drop, and up into the station. What do you think of the station?
Yeah, I think it's great. What do you think, Jasmine?
Yeah, I love it. I think it was definitely worth it, all the extra time you put into making this.
For sure. And I like how the exit, well, first of all, I like how you made a little area for the employee, and you've actually got a door back there, and you got a little walkway.
That's cute.
I like a little gate for them to get in and out of, and then I like how the exit kind of comes underground, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think honestly that's my favorite part about it, is the realism of it, and then kind of how it's like placed into a wall, or into to the side of a cliff almost.
Awesome. I'm just getting into the ride at the moment. I'm just thinking, what would be the best camera angle for this? Because normally sitting in the seat spinning ain't good on this one, is it? So chase, you reckon, yeah?
Yeah, I saw Tommy CM did that on his park tour thing, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea to ride this in chase mode.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's ride the rapids, and we'll talk to you guys after. Yeah, so I'm just right here at the exit. I mean, that's a fantastic river rapids. What do you think, Jasmine?
Yeah, I think that's like my favorite river rapids I've seen. I think it's so hard to make these rides exciting, and you really do have to go all out on the theming to make it seem exciting and fun. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, you did a great job on that, Corey.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. As I say, this is my first real attempt at a river rapids fully themed. I mean, I've done river rapids in the past, but never as detailed as this.
Right.
And so, as I say, I was really happy and pleased with how this came out.
Yeah.
And I love your building, your like factory building that you made for it, and it's just so well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, again, it was just to add to the theming. As you'll see, it's called... what did I call it? Oh, the Rock River Factory Original.
Yeah, we're in Plug mode, so we're a little far away from it. So I was trying to read that, but yeah, looks great. By the way, I realized that in flip cam mode, you really can't see it like you can before, but your brother's coaster that runs by the side, I guess when we're down at guest level, although maybe I'm on a... No, never mind, I'm not a kid. I was thinking maybe I accidentally clicked on a kid and I was at a lower level. But yeah, so I'm walking up here to the top because this is new. This part you haven't seen before, Corey, in terms of it being fully done and detailed.
Oh, yeah. Ah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Nice little centre. Oh, yeah, I like the fencing that you've used over there. You've made that yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just the stucco wall with a cement pillar piece in between.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so I added restrooms on the left side of your building here, and then so I just moved I think a window or two around that you had, and then just put in 3 stalls because I figured we need restrooms up here. So yeah,
it looks
awesome.
really good.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then do we want to ride your brother's ride first?
Yeah.
All right. And as you can see,
so this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry. So I was going to say this is forest friendly. I can see that you have added a little sign out here, Michael, and with a height restriction board. I like that.
No, I think that was your brother that had that because I didn't add that.
Oh. Well done. Yeah, no, so I like that. Yeah, this one's called Forest Frenzy. My brother took over the park for a week and he created this one. One we'll take a ride in just a moment. I'm just walking down the queue line. As you can see, obviously outside in the queue line is quite well themed. The inside of the building not as themed, but
I did add
it
flooring
still
though.
works. Ah, yeah, you have, and it looks good. All right, well that's good. At least it's not just grass. But yeah, as we walk up the stairs and into the station, and now I'm just gonna. Oh, hang on a moment, because I'm back by the rapids. Okay, so I'm just about to jump on the ride now.
Alright.
And let's just take a look at the results. Wait, let me get back in the station first. So look at the results. Pretty good results. Green across the board.
There we go. Sorry, I was trying to click on it. It's like it was showing me. I kept clicking on a person. So I was kind of...
Okay, and I'm ready to take a ride when you are.
Alright, sounds good. Let's ride the coaster. See y'all after. Alright, so I'm just doing an overview shot of the coaster now. And I love the name, like Forest Frenzy, because it really fits. Like, it's a very compact, twisty-turvy coaster that looks like it's in a frenzy in the forest, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. I think you've done an absolutely excellent job with this. He's really fit this in perfectly. And as you can see from the pathways, it's just hidden in its own forest. Hence the name. And I love everything about it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna get back in flip cam mode real quick because I think this last area is best viewed in flip cam mode, just to really take in the view and stuff. So
I am in flip cam. Just gonna turn my HUD off. Right, so just coming out of the exit to the coaster.
Okay.
Are we taking a right? Oh.
Well, let's take a right real quick just to see the hammer swing, and then we'll come back and go through that walkway where it says perilous plunge.
Okay, so we'll walk down to the hammer swing. This is a neat little area, and this goes back down to Raging Racers, doesn't it? This is the hill to Raging
So that
Racers.
walkway will take you back down to Raging Racers. But yeah, I made this little pergola, and
That's good.
I'll make sure to show an overview to you guys when we show an kind of overview of the park, but it's like literally hanging off the edge, or the ledge of the cliff, which is just, when I saw this spot that there's a little bit of space, I was like, man, can I fit the hammer swing here? So I think it's perfect. I wonder if it lets me. Does it let me walk through the exit? Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, so I'll walk through the exit, and you can just kind of see how it's just, like, down there, you can just see the coaster, and it's like literally a cliff. That's fantastic. So now we have one more coaster to ride. I was able to fit in another coaster in the park, and so if you come back out and go to the right to where that sign Perilous Plunge was.
Perilous Plunge. I like that. That entrance is really neat.
Yeah, so thank you
Perilous
to
Plunge.
Angry Emerald or Theme Park Thrills. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, I think I just said his name wrong.
Is it Theme Thrill?
Theme Thrills. There we go. My
Yeah,
bad. I'm
okay.
so sorry. I just think sometimes I see names and I just expect to be something different. But yeah, he helped me with the name for stuff, so I really appreciate it on that. But yeah, so you come through and you see this RMC.
Wow. I'm sort of gobsmacked. I'm speechless. It's wow.
So what do you think of the fencing?
Yeah, I love it. That's really, really good. I'm just taking a walk down to the toilets.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you go to the left of the toilets, there's a staff room over here in the back. So that's all kind of hidden.
Okay. Oh, I was stuck on a wall. I jumped on the wall in flip cam and I can't get down.
Oh my gosh, me too. Oh no. This happened to Maddie the other day. Why did we not? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Oh no.
What do you have to do?
I'm gonna have to jump out. Hang on.
All right, I was able to click on somebody else, and I'm gonna rename Flip Cam on that person and see if this works, because that is so funny.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's funny that we both did it at the same time too. Yeah. Well,
I want to walk through the fence to see the backstage area or the staff room.
Yeah. I noticed
I'm back now.
Yeah, on the station, I should have. There's those wood pieces. I got to shift those in just a little bit because two of them are kind of visibly showing. I thought I corrected that, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, I want you to walk up the queue because let's just say the views are very nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
I've just walked into the queue now, and oh wow.
Yeah. When you get to the covered area, just take a look out to the right.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just walking around the queue. I'm trying to avoid not going over the wall in case I get stuck again.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts here, Jasmine?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I guess you did make that. I was just looking at the water. The water, I guess I haven't noticed that since you've shown this to me. But yeah, it looks really good. I'd like to say that I was the inspiration for this coaster since it's the same kind of coaster as my mountain climber coaster.
I'm not trying to be
I feel
correcting,
like he
but
copied me.
it's a very different style coaster. Yours is a traditional woolly coaster. This is a RMC, totally different.
I know, but it looks similar.
What are your thoughts, Corey, as we head into the station?
I mean, first thoughts is just wow. The views again are spectacular, and this looks very exciting. Obviously, I haven't seen this yet, so I'm quite excited to ride this. Shall we? Can we?
So I'm just doing kind of an overview shot because since we don't really have anywhere else to go in the park, we can kind of get out of flip cam mode. But what are your thoughts on the coaster?
I mean, I haven't really got any words to say, and that's a good thing. There's some crazy inversions in there, but it works so well. Um, I especially love that first bit as you come out the station, and
Mm-hmm.
then you swing round under the bridge, and just it's brilliant, all round brilliant. And I can't believe you managed to fit that in, but you've done such a good job with it.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
it's brilliant, and like, I mean, I didn't even know it was there. We've been walking around this whole park. I hadn't seen it once until this point. It's completely hidden away from everything. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Well done.
Well, I appreciate it, and I mean, definitely. I got this idea from you because I saw that you've done this before, where you like layer trees on top of trees, and so you put like
Hmm.
2 or 3 oak trees essentially on top of each other, which just makes it look like it's a large tree, but it kind of adds that look of either having just being elevated, right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I do think I think in front bumper or whatever it's called. Why am I forgetting what it's called now? I think it seems to slow down a little bit in a couple areas, but in chase mode, it's not like that. Like this, there's a couple spots on here where I got some inspiration from the second ever RMC that was made called. Oh gosh, why am I forgetting the name of it now? Oh my gosh, it's at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Why? Rattler, Iron Rattler, that's it. And there's a moment on Iron Rattler where you're kind of on this canyon basically, or this I forget what the technical term for it is, but you almost feel like the ride's
Hmm.
slowing down, and then if you're in the very back seat, you get whipped over this hill, and you think it's just gonna be like a little hill, but it's actually like over 100 feet drop, and it's just crazy airtime. And so I tried to take some inspiration from that. Um, but yeah, all the inversions were custom except for that loop, which that loop I just did a half loop, and then the emblem part of it was custom. But I think it's really cool though because when you're on your
Okay.
coaster, it's like it doesn't take away from your coaster, but just kind of adds to that sight line, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And do you know what? When we was riding on the dual coaster, I didn't even notice it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't even notice it. But that might be a mistake on my part because I did actually record the POV in nighttime view, so
Oh, okay.
that's probably why. Um, but yeah, so I think that was the last thing to see in this park, wasn't it? Um,
hmm
am I right, or is there anything? Have we missed anything?
Yeah, so one other thing I want to show, which there's this carousel. We didn't actually look at this carousel, but Jasmine made this carousel. Really nice. She made this pretty early on. And it's just really nice too because when you're down in the queue, you can kind of see off the ledge a little bit. I mean, she just does such a good job with designing her flat rides and stuff. And I'm not at that level, but she does such a good job with it. And then I did want to show the maintenance area because I started to show a little bit of one. But if you would go to the maintenance area by the mountain climber, like I said,
Yep.
part of that I wasn't quite able to do everything I wanted to do just because of the build limit and obviously kind of adding in some other stuff to the park. But as you can see, there is this warehouse here. And so this was actually, Corey, you made this one, right?
I did, yeah. You talk about the delivery bay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
I did. I made this one in another park, and then I obviously saved it as a blueprint, and then bring it over to this park. Um, yeah, so you like it?
Oh, absolutely. Love it. Um, yeah, I think it's really good. I like how you've got the lockers in there that keep stuff. You've got the blinds. You've got the signs. You really decked it out, which is really nice. And I just flipped which side it was on, just because this is kind of a narrow area. I feel like it'd be easier for
Hmm.
trucks to get in and out of that spot. Um, and obviously we got an area here where we've got some of those cargo containers and stuff. And then, which I did try to adjust this a little bit to your advice, but if you take a left and you go down this this way down here. I would have liked to add more down here, but once again, kind of had to, since I did that coaster at the end, spent more on that. But this is a really long tunnel that in theory would allow service trucks and all this different stuff to get to the other side of the park. And so I tried to make it a little bit more rounded, as you said. Still not perfect, but a little bit more rounded.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I quite like that.
And then if you come out and you see how I kind of shortened the space that I had on the top portion, and I kind of added in just more doors to kind of represent like service tunnels, or if there's maintenance stuff and stuff like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So just kind of in theory, I don't really know how this stuff would work in real life, but more so like if they were having some electrical stuff down there for the park or different things like that, And then obviously
absolutely, it looks fantastic.
Yeah. And then I showed you this the other week, but I also kind of just terrain painted outside of the lines a little bit to kind of show that there were roads leading out of the park. Yeah.
Yeah, you did, and I think that's a good touch, to be honest, because a few weeks back when we were talking about the maintenance areas, I was trying to think to myself, we really need a sort of road or something going up towards the entrance where obviously deliveries and stuff can come through. And I never even realised that you could paint outside the boundaries of the park. So yeah, this is a fantastic touch. I mean, obviously we couldn't plant any trees or anything there, but that's not really an issue. But it definitely adds to it with the paint, the paint that you've done.
For sure, I appreciate it. Yeah, and then obviously at the main entrance, this a couple weeks ago we saw this. If you watched the video, but excuse me, made an entrance and exit out of the park for the cars, where they come up through a tunnel, and so yeah, and by the way, Jasmine had to step out for a second, so that's why y'all haven't heard her in a while. But yeah, I absolutely love how this park has turned out, and just, I don't know, I think it's better than, I think it turned out better than I would have thought,
Yeah, definitely. So happy with this park. I'm actually quite sad that it's over. But I think, thank you, Michael, for all your help and encouragement and for doing this collaboration with me. It's been amazing to do it. And I hope, obviously, that we can.
I thank you, man. You're the one that on Discord was like, "Indo want to collab," and I was like, "Oh, I've never done one of those before, but sure, it'd be fun." In my mind, I'm like, yes, I would, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I've never done one of these. But yeah, I think it's been great. So
absolutely, it's been fantastic, and I hope that going forward we can, work together again. Just zoom right out, and look at this park. It's a full-sized mega park.
Wow. We literally used every square inch of this map, even if it's water. Like, I'm like zoomed out all the way now, and I mean, the only area is like this small back corner here, where there could have been more stuff placed. Yeah. But literally, I guess, and there's a corner on the side, just a tad bit. But I mean, this is, like you said, this is full scale. I'm zoomed out as far as I can, and it's like, oh yeah, that's as far up as we'll go, and it is full scale mega park. Woo!
That is fantastic.
You know what I just realized?
I think. Go on.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I just realized this map is literally surrounded by water on all four sides. Like, that is so unrealistic. There's no bridges. There's nothing. How do people get to the park?
Oh yeah.
I did not realize that it is literally water on all four sides. Oh wow.
Maybe it's like in London we have like the Blackwall Tunnel or the Dartford Tunnel that goes under the water. Maybe we'll just say it's like that. We'll just say that the tunnels leading into the park are through under the water. Come out the other side of those huge mountains.
Sounds good to me. Sounds very expensive, but sounds good to me.
Right, and on that note, I think it's time to end the final episode. Yeah, I just want to say before we go, thank you to everyone who's followed through the series, everyone who's liked, commented, shared, suggested anything. We appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, Michael, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'm just back looking at the I don't know what this term would be, the walkway and the entrance where everybody's name's at. And so I appreciate all of you guys who've been such a part of this and commented on this and helped us out. And, hopefully this is the first of many collaborations between not just you and I, but obviously a lot of people in this community, because this really is such a great community where we all encourage each other to improve on our building skills. And I really appreciate that challenge that you put into of not building above the tree line, because you know me and my big coasters, so that's that was a challenge, but it's fun, it's a blast, and just thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you in the future.
All right, have a great rest of y'all's day.